Hey guys, it's the Davey Damage Show. Today I'm heading along to see a local collector. He's going to let us have a look at his fucking awesome collection. The first time I saw this collection I was so insanely jealous. It actually made me step up my personal collection. So pretty fucking awesome of him to let us check it out. So here we go. Right now I'm with Ben and he's going to show us his awesome fucking collection, which in my humble opinion is one of the best toy collections in Australia, if not the world. So how you doing, Ben?
Very well, thank you.
How long have you been collecting?
Well, I've never stopped collecting as a kid. There was always something I grabbed and was gravitated to. But it was the turning point was when I was 16, when I got an Aliens comic from a friend for my birthday, and that was the sort of deciding point from when I went from basic toy collector to adult collector.
Awesome. So thanks for having us and show us around.
Can't wait. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Shredder. So you'll see lots of Shredder figures around my toy room. And then as we pan over to the Gremlin, obviously a big fan of the Gremlins, and I've got a larger Gremlin in my lounge room. And next shot we've got all the Alien Queen and the Aliens products. So the Queen is a big focus of mine, being one of my favourite movies, Aliens. So I've got a few Alien Queens, and I've also got an Alien Queen tattoo on my back. Then we pan across to the NECA, mainly NECA Aliens and Predator collection, which is a huge passion of mine. And these are all my loose figures that I've collected. So with the McFarlane mint on card stuff that you're seeing here, when they were first released, I sold all my Kenner collection, and I bought the McFarlane toys because it's the first time I saw realistic toys on offer, and I was just so blown away by the sculpts and things. So I picked up them. I thought they were amazing, and never looked back. I did regret selling my Kenner toys, but I have since collected some of the loose collection of Kenner and Alien toys. But it was a big regret. And looking back now, selling my Kenner mint on card collection of Alien Predator toys. So here's the other half of my loose Predator collection and a few Aliens. I love these figures because a lot of these are nostalgic reproductions of the Kenner line made by the NECA group. And now you've got the McFarlane mint on card collection, obviously depicting the movies. They were ahead of their time, McFarlane producing these, because there was nothing else on the market that had this realism, and I was, as I said before, absolutely blown away. So we've got my token Alien, and underneath Ripley, and then we've got the Requiem mint on card figures. There are a couple of variants and things. My 2-pack, so Alien and Predator 2-pack, and then the nostalgic version of the Kenner Alien and Predator 2-pack, and then the actual Kenner 2-pack, which is a holy grail in my collection. I just love that set so much. So here we have my loose version of Alien and Predator toys that I've collected over the past few years. Really got back into these recently in a big way. And I've just about finished the collection that I'm happy with from a loose point of view. I've got most of the line represented here, if not one of every variant at least. So pretty happy with that after selling my mint on card collection. So here we have the second area of my Kenner Alien and Predator collection, mainly Alien. And this is where I've got the some of the vehicles and the Alien Queen Hive set, which I'm pretty proud of owning, not one but two. One's mint on card in box, and this is just because the collection is quite large and I don't have enough room in one area to display it. So and then we can see a few variants of different characters next to each other and such. And underneath I've got a few statues and busts of the from the Alien and Predator line, and one of my favourite Alien and Predator statues here, where you've had to buy two separate statues. The Alien and Predator are separate, and they connect together to form one big fighting scene. So that was amazing to get. About 10 years ago I think I bought that, so very, very cool. So next up we have my Generation 1 Transformers collection, and as you can see here, Transformers was a massive part of my childhood, Soundwave and Skywarp being the first two that I pretty much got as a kid, and I absolutely loved the transforming aspect of the robots. And since then I've discovered the world of Battlebeasts and collected the entire 76 Battlebeasts, or whatever, how many are in the line, and I've got a few paraphernalia aspects of lunchbox and things of them, and I just think they're so cool with the heat rub elements and things, and they fit nicely into the Transformers era in the Japanese cartoons. So I've got my token Autobots next to their counterparts, the Decepticons. Transformers was pretty much the first big toy line that I collected as a kid, so it's always had that nostalgic bit, yeah, I think Mum, I asked Mum when I was a kid, can I have a Transformer, and she didn't know what it was, so she had to go and ask other mums what Transformers were, and that's when I got Soundwave and Skywarp around Christmas time that year, 1984. The line is enormous. I don't quite have the whole line, but I've got my favourites and got all the Gassalts and the main characters anyway. So next up we have my Batman Lego collection. Lego was an enormous part of my childhood as well. Whenever I was between lines or whatever, I was always collecting Lego in some form or another. And back in, I think, 2006, the Lego got the license for the Batman films and comic book series, and they started producing them. And I was hesitant at the start, but I picked up a few at a decent price, and that set the collection going. With the line getting so large now, I've got to be very picky, but I've got quite a few of the original sets and things, and now I just pick and choose, especially with the movie coming out. So it's awesome to see the line grow so large, though, and so many characters and variants to choose from. So back in the 80s, growing up, I had a couple of Superpowers, DC Superpowers figures, namely Batman, Robin and Penguin. So Batman was pretty big influence of my childhood, and since the 89 Michael Keaton film came out, I've been a huge Batman fan ever since, and never really strayed over to the dark side of Marvel. Always stayed a true DC fan through and through. I appreciate the Marvel universe, but I've always only collected Batman toys. So the Michael Keaton Batmobile and such has always been my favourite Batmobile version, and even in all the comic books, in all the films, in all the reiterations of the Batmobile, the Keaton Batmobile has always been by far the superior, in my opinion. So ticking the nostalgic box again, as I had the Superpowers Batman figure as a kid, I've always had a big appreciation for the blue and grey coloured Batman, and I've always had a soft spot for him, so I've picked up quite a few different variants of him over the years, and this big bastard here is my latest pickup, the Gentle Giant 1:6 scale jumbo Batman figure. So very, very happy to have this in the collection. So as I said before, Keaton, the Michael Keaton movie was my favourite, and it influenced me for my Batman fandom, and I've since got my shrine of Keaton-esque Batman figures portrayed here. And here we have my sort of comic book-esque collection of Batman figures, and because I'm a villains man at heart, I've essentially focused on the villains in the Batman universe. I picked up the Hush Superman, which is sort of evil in that toy line and in the comic book series, so that fit nicely. And these are the variants of Batman that I've collected that have appealed to me. And one of my favourites is the Two-Face Batman, as seen on screen right now. So I picked up these Sectaurs over a space of a year or so, and absolutely love them. They're an obscure 80s line, and they use puppetry for the vehicles and things. You put your hand in there, and they're just such an interesting line from the 80s that are often overlooked by today's collectors. So the 2003 era of the Turtles was one of my favourite series. It really beckoned back to the Mirage comic books storyline, but with little twists. So I was extremely impressed by that line, and the Turtles, the toys themselves, look fantastic. They almost look like they jumped out of the comic book, with still keeping the colour schemes of the original toys. So by far my favourite version of the Turtles is the comic book Turtles, as seen on screen right now, but made by the Four Horsemen and Nika. And these Turtles are just phenomenal. And I've got these carded collection, and I also bought a second set to open, which I've got on display in my lounge room. So these are amazing, and I'm so thankful that they made the second series of the villains later on.
Okay.
So growing up in the 80s and then transitioning through the 90s, Turtles obviously were the next phase of my collecting obsession, and they were a huge part after Transformers and Master Universe sort of had their time. And there was cartoons, toys to be collected, everything. Kids were bringing them into the schoolyard to play with, and it's just a fantastic time to be a kid in that era, in the height of the Turtle era. So I've got my prime, the Turtle Van, the Sewer, and the Technodrome, and that's my sort of homage to the big play sets and things that were released. And I've got a great variety of villains and turtle characters to go with it. So, and then moving on, this is my loose collection of the 2000X era. I love some other characters like Usagi and things, but they demand a lot of coin these days, so I just pick them up where I can. But most of these were bought when they were first released, and yeah, it's been difficult to collect any more since.
Yep.
So these are the classic Turtles that I picked up over the time, and unfortunately the Shredder wave was cancelled, so I'm a bit bummed about that. But I took these guys home, and I painted their eyes white to give it a more comic book-esque and the original look of the toy line, and I think they look so much better than with it having pupils. So now we're onto the misc stuff that I still have a big passion for, but I don't really have enough to fill up a whole area. So Street Fighter was always one of my favourite games, and when the Sorta toy line came out, I did collect a lot of those toys, and I've since parted ways with most of my collection, but I had to keep two of them, and I chose Blanca and Bison because I just think they're awesome. The fluorescent yellow Batman in the background there was one of my favourite 90s Batman figures, and I've since got a few different versions of him as a nostalgia thing. And yeah, as you can see, I've got Samus from Metroid and Judge Dredd from the 112 collection from Mezco, which is very, very cool. And finishing off with Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. They're the two best ninjas in the universe. So I was pretty fortunate to pick up a Panoche Voltron for fairly cheap back quite a few years ago. I've never been able to find a vehicle Voltron though, so I picked up DX, I don't know what it's called, but it's very highly articulated. And I've got all the action figures and things to go with the Panoche playset underneath, and a few of the vehicles as well. This big bad boy here is the MOTU Collector Voltron, which I subscribed for and collected over the course of a year. And he's 23 inches tall, build and connect figure, and absolutely fantastic. The action features are a bit gimmicky and don't really work in an adult collector's toy line, but still the sheer size and aspect ratio of the pilots and things, definitely worth every cent for what I paid when I was subscribed to it a few years ago. So here we have the Tonka Supernatural characters that I'm pushing to get more of the line to complete it. And finishing off, I've got a few of the Rebeltech, Robotech characters, which are amazingly articulated. So I've got the 6-pack of the Nick Turtles. It was a really cool gift pack that I bought as a token to have some figures from that series. I've got the Shredder from the Comic Con that I picked up locally for a very, very good price. And then I was in country and I picked up the whole series of legendary comic book superheroes at a very, very good price as well. And I was able to do the Build-A-Figure Pit, which is a mammoth of a character and toy, just absolutely phenomenal. One of the best packaging of Transformers, in my opinion, ever. Soundwave, absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely adore that packaging style. And the McFarlane Alien vs Predator 2-pack, which is really, really cool and just looks beautifully in box. So here's my little video games area. I've got mainly SNES on show and things, and my awesome Benny's Spaceship from the Lego Movie, which is fantastic. A few random characters and such, and also, yeah, a few box SNES figures as well. So my main passion in my toy collecting is Master of the Universe, and that's mainly because I had quite a few in my childhood days, and I had the Battle for Eternia game as a kid, so I felt like I had such a robust collection without actually having all the figures. And Master of the Universe has, in my sort of collecting days, has always been easier to find than some of the other toy lines. So it's been easier for me to find the characters that I need without paying exorbitant prices online and things. And since the new... There's always been different incarnations of the Master of the Universe toy line over the years, and there's, even though it's not as mainstream as other lines, there's always been something going on in the background, which has been fantastic. I've been able to have my hand at customizing some toys as well in the Master of the Universe toy line, which keeps the line going for me, and that's always a lot of fun to create characters that didn't exist in the original toy line, and mashups and things like that. So that's been a lot of fun to express my creative skills, or lack of, so to speak. Huge fan of Skeletor. I had three of the variants of Skeletor as a kid, and so just having those three versions of him as a kid, he's always been a big soft spot for me as an adult. And just the skull of the character and the general fearsomeness of the character has always appealed to me. So as we continue, this is my display and collection, and you've probably noticed I've mashed up the Princess of Power toys inside the collection as well. And I was extremely lucky to get these two mountain displays from a local collector who gave them to me for my 30th birthday. There's a bit of grey area of where they came from and things, but whether they came from store displays or whatnot, but the fact of the matter, at the end of the day, they're in my collection now, and they're perfect fit for the Master of the Universe toy line, and I've never looked back. They give so much diversity and depth to the collection, and yeah, very cool, very unique display to have. So yeah, this is continue my Master of the Universe display. I've pretty much got all the characters now. I've dabbled in a few variants and things, and I've tried to collect a few of the different variants of certain characters, but the Master Universe line is so deep, it's difficult to get all of them. So I've gone for the mainstream ones and things. So the Horde Troopers have been difficult to army build. I feel they're one of the most expensive army building characters around, aside from the Radiation Ranger from Toxic Crusaders. And I've currently got 9, so I picked up my 9th one today, so I'm very proud. And I've got 2 knockoffs, sort of cold cast ones that I picked up that I've done in different colours just to show they're not originals. And I've got Twitch from Toy Story in my collection as well. I've got 3 of him now, as I feel he's the token Master Universe character from Toy Story. I think he's awesome. I've got a couple of custom characters, Hero and Eldor, and picked them up from a friend in the States who was able to do them, and now we're getting them in the from Super 7 later in the year or even next year. So that was pretty cool to have them already in figure form in my vintage collection. Got the big Eternia playset, which is definitely a holy grail piece of my collection. Nowhere near complete, but I've got the 3 towers, and I've got the main bits that make it a dominating piece. And yeah, it's enormous. Got some Galoob Golden Girls in my collection as well, and they're sort of really cool darker versions of the Princess of Power line that fit seamlessly in my collection. So from Super 7 I picked up the Muscle Master Universe collection of 24 figures, and since then they've announced a second wave, which will be pretty cool. And to make my collection diverse, and once I sort of picked up most of the figures and completed that line, I started collecting the roleplay weapons, and they've been really cool. Some are vintage, some are the new cosplay ones like the power sword and the sort of protection from She-Ra, and I also was able to pick up some new adventures weapons as well. So it's been really fun and exciting to pick up those weapons and things, and just have something different, collecting something different than just action figures and things. So the He-Man New Adventures toy line was obviously straight after the vintage line, so this was a 90s toy line, and in all honesty I never really appreciated it as much as I do now, and it wasn't until the classics characters were released that I sort of had a appreciation for this toy line, and I've since gone back and started collecting them. And I'm pretty happy with my collection as is. I've just got a couple of weapons here and there to pick up, but I'm calling this collection complete, so for me. So Matty Collector released the jumbo size Master Universe vintage toy line, and they released quite a few different figures, and I picked up He-Man and Skeletor as token jumbo versions of them, and so I kept these mint on card, and then later on they went half price with free shipping, so I bought a second set, and I was pretty quick to open them, and they're so cool. I'm so happy I bought a second set and I was able to open them and really appreciate the size of them. So the 2003 or 2000X series of Master Universe, we saw a completely new toy line released, and in all honesty I wasn't hugely impressed. They were very static poses of the characters and didn't have much articulation, and they were extremely revamped designs. However, I was very impressed with the statue line, the small statue line that was released by NECA, and I've picked up a handful of them, and then later on I was able to pick up the remainder in one bulk lot. So extremely impressed with this Staction line. I think they're far superior than the actual toys themselves, with so much more detail and such, and I've even got a few customs mixed in, and also a couple of action figures from the toy line mixed in as well. So massive appreciation for the Staction toy line from the Four Horsemen. So now we have the Masters of the Universe Classics line from MOTU Collector and solely online store. So I was actually fortunate enough to be right there at the start of the toy line and picked up the He-Man, Beastman and Skeletor over those months back in 2008. And then I was on that journey right the way through to the end. And I also picked up King Grayskull, which is seen on picture now, for very, very good price because I picked it up so early in the coming of the line. So I'm mainly a loose collector, but I've kept a couple of the 2-packs mint on card and such. So yeah, just nostalgic things. And I've got my Castle Grayskull, which I just thought was amazing that they actually released this sheer scale playset to fit in line with the classics, and it was phenomenal toy. And I've got it set up on display that you can actually access the interior as well as the exterior. So continuing Castle Grayskull from the front, just such an amazing piece that we had to deposit some money on first, and such a centerpiece of my collection. Absolutely phenomenal size and scale and everything. And I've also got Token Lion-O from later on released in the MOTU Collector universe, and yeah, he was pretty cool, part of the Thundercats line. So here we have a better look at my collection, loose collection, and starting off with the Royal Palace people, and moving on to the Princess of Power characters and things. And I absolutely adore the fact that the Princess of Power characters are being given the same love as the rest of the Masters of the Universe toy line. And I've even got a Mantisaur, a vintage Mantisaur with Hordak, Classics Hordak on top, and it fits in nicely. I do hope that Super 7 make a Classics Mantisaur, as I had that toy as a child. So here we have the Evil Horde and all the enormous universe of characters inside it. Very, very cool. And then finishing off this shelf line with the evil villains and their sort of evil family. So it was absolutely amazing to get the giants like Megator and Titus, Megator being on screen right now, because they're just impossible to find in the vintage line without paying an exorbitant amount of money. So the Snake Men have always been dear to my heart, as I had most of the line as a kid, and the upgrade on the Evil Warriors is just absolutely phenomenal. Such a fantastic line, and absolutely my favourite line to collect in the modern-esque toy line. The head swap, you can swap out the accessories. It's just so much playability and posability and armor swapping, everything. It's yeah, lots of custom options. So now we're getting into the Heroic Warriors, and yeah, this sort of sums up the remainder of the toy line and things. And I've even put some random characters like Batman in the background behind the Titus, as Batman shares the same buck as the Masters line does. So here we have New Adventures characters and things, and Tuscador at the start there is absolutely one of the reasons I love New Adventures. He has been phenomenally upgraded in this Classics line and done so well. He's just enormous and fantastic. Definitely one of my characters of the last year. And then we move on to the Evil Mutants, so Skeletor's army of characters, and those characters are just awesome as well, to see the complexness of the Classics toys. It's just absolutely amazing that we've not only got Castle Grayskull, but we've got a lot of vehicles as well. We've got the Roton, we've got the Battle Ram, the Wind Raider and everything, that they've all in scale with the classics and phenomenally upgraded in the classics line. A lot of them have beautiful box artwork with their packaging, and it's just fantastic to relive that nostalgic vintage style with the artwork. And just now we have the Bone Throne, which is a custom I picked up off eBay, and it just fits in beautifully in the backdrop there, hoping that something official is released one day. So moving down the line and just getting into the depth and things of the characters and stuff. We've got characters from the mini comics, we've got characters from the Filmation cartoon, we've got characters that appeared once in some of the golden books, and it's just amazing to see the depth that the toy line has gone over the years. It's absolutely the masters of the toy line franchise. So it was pretty awesome to see the line progress to the actual Filmation characters and toy line, in which we got quite a few of the mainstay characters in their Filmation versions. And it's even more awesome to hear and see that Super 7 are continuing this trend with their Filmation toy line as well. So this toy line is only going to get larger and more awesome. And
so that's Ben's collection. A huge thanks goes out to Ben for letting us check that out. Now, if you have a collection you'd like me to check out and you're not a massive fuckhead, be sure to contact me here, and see you in the future. Thanks, guys.